Hello YouTube. So I just got off that bus there. That's the 60. I don't normally get off here. This is the stop at 23rd Avenue, westbound. I'm headed toward Bullocks, but I'm running kind of early. It's only 7:07 p.m. By the way, it's April 7th, 2022, Thursday night, and yeah, I'm almost an hour ahead of when I normally am, so that's a good thing, especially considering how not how much of an unpleasant trip it was. But I guess timing wise, like, my transfers went okay, and that's what matters, other than of course the crappy way it started. And ultimately, like, I just did extra walking down there, 46th Street to Thomas, and then over to 44th, when I could have just simply walked to 44th and I would have caught the same bus. But anyway, since I'm running a little early, I figure I'll walk over to Whataburger and get something good to eat. I didn't really eat today. I didn't stop and get breakfast on the way home like I normally do, and so let's see. Last video was me walking over to the bus, but the video before that, last video on my way home from Amazon, was here's that weird Dashmart thing. Still never really figured out what this is. We deliver with DoorDash. Okay. And there's the weird cage that always trips me out every time I see it. That's the penalty box, I guess. Yeah, it was just that video. I was talking about how getting on the I-10 Rapid a half hour early ended up not changing what time public transit would have got me home one iota, just because the timing of the transfer to the light rail was as bad as possible. And by that I mean I hit my stop just in time to see the train leave. So, like, oh, great. My biggest frustration with the transit here is just how long. I mean, I have so many beefs with transit here, but the biggest one is just how infrequently much of the service is, and how it doesn't really consistently run on time, and there's just no coordination between the different things. It's just so often you get off one ride, you need to transfer to another, and you get there in time to watch it driving off, and then you're stuck waiting 15 minutes to an hour for your next ride, because there's just zero coordination between the various modes. Now, granted, if everything was running, every 10 minutes, or even consistently every 15 minutes, that really wouldn't be as much of an issue, because it'd be like, well, the next ride will be on its way. I mean, I didn't sweat when I was in Portland. If I was walking down to the platform and I saw the train rolling out, it was like, well, whatever, the next one will be along in a few minutes, and it always was. But yeah, Valley Metro Light Rail doesn't really run that frequently, and I think in a week and a half or 2 weeks, something like that, they're cutting it back to every 20 minutes, so it's going to go from bad to worse. And the Valley Metro Light Rail is not really good about being on schedule. Sometimes it runs early, sometimes it runs late, so it's not always an even interval between, you never really know when you miss a train like that because of a poorly timed transfer, how long it's going to be till the next one. So that kind of sucks. Anyway, the ride home on Bird, because that video ended with me walking to a scooter, it ended up getting me, I want to say home maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes sooner than had I waited for the bus. So left a half hour early, arrived about 12, 15 minutes early, but with the spending of an extra $5 to use a scooter. So I thoroughly enjoyed the ride. The last time I rode a Bird scooter home from 50th Street Station, of course, the last time I had left the I had left the bird right there next to the station, so I didn't have to do that walk that I did today down to near the freeway to grab my scooter. And I think the reason that scooter was left where it was, if you look at the end of that video, like 2 videos ago, you see the scooter just lying down on the sidewalk. And I believe the reason it was left like that is that's right where the geofencing is. My guess is whoever was on that scooter was unaware of the geofencing and was just hoping to keep riding it on into Phoenix along Washington Street, and that's where it stopped, and that's where they had to end their rides. They probably just, it was like took the picture showing the scooter parked and then kicked the thing down because, fuck that scooter and fuck geofencing. Anyway, by the way, there's Whataburger. I hope their lobby's open. I see people inside it, so probably it is. Anyway, so yeah, I had to do a little more walking to get to my scooter, but again, I mean, saw that video, not bad. Real comfortable ride. Like the last time I rode the scooter home from 50th Street Station, it was uncomfortably cold. It was cold, and then even with my work gloves on and my hoodie tied around my head, just the wind chill of 16 miles per hour on my body exposed on the scooter was not comfortable. This ride was great. It's in the upper 60s when I get off work now. It's crazy. Like in 2 weeks, just the climate has just dramatically changed here in Phoenix. It's getting up into the mid 90s during the daytime, and it's in the mid, sometimes even upper 60s in the wee hours of the morning, which is super comfortable to me. So yeah, the ride couldn't have been more comfortable. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and no gloves on my hands, which granted I probably should have put gloves on my hands just in case I ate shit so as to not mess up my hands. Didn't think of that until right now. Go me. But yeah, the ride was super, super comfortable. Of course, the downside on that was that, of course, I ended my ride at about near the cemetery there at about 48th Street in Oak, which didn't have me having a allow me to go in and grab breakfast like I normally do there at QT. And in hindsight, I suppose I could have ended my ride there at 48th Street in McDowell at the 7-Eleven and got breakfast there. But, hindsight is always 20/20. I didn't think of that until right now as well. So anyway, on that note, I'm hungry. I'm going into Whataburger. I kind of wanted to give you all some details of just how god-awful my ride was from the time I got on the bus until here, because quite a bit happened. But yeah, I've already wasted 7.5 minutes, and I'm hungry. So maybe I'll explain those adventures in my next video. I definitely want to do a highlight video soon of what has happened to bus transfers at 44th Street and Camelback, because I've often complained about how miserable that bus transfer is, because it was a long walk to the bus stop down Camelback from 44th Street, and I always found that to be an excessive amount of walking for a bus transfer, but it is now, I would say, about 10 times worse. And on that note, rather than explain it to you, I want to shoot some video and let y'all see just how bad the city of Phoenix has made that. Anyway, thanks for coming with me on the walk. I'm going to get me a Whataburger.